Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips of what you can be doing on your allotment in February. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because I'll give you lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. Now, one of the jobs I've been doing is I've been putting manure on things that need to have manure put on them. Basically, we have a massive heap of horse manure that gets delivered to our allotment on a regular basis, and we can use it whatever way we choose. Some of it we put onto the composters and we compost it straight down, and some of it you can actually put straight onto the allotment, but you do have to be careful what you put it on. Now, one of the things I'm directly putting manure onto at the moment is my rhubarb. Now, you would only put this kind of fresh manure on a rhubarb plant that is really well established. Mine's been here years. I know it won't cause it any harm, so I cover it. And the reason I do this is, one, it helps obviously fertilise it, and two, it helps it grow because the warmth of the manure helps it sprout in the spring, and also it keeps the weeds down, so another bonus. So you just literally chuck it over it. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to worry about breaking the tops off. You're not going to be eating them at this stage. You know, it seems a little bit brutal. You really won't do it any harm. I do this every year and it makes such a big difference. So if you've got a good selection, you know, of manure like we've got, just gently spread it. You know, and again, don't concern yourself with knocking anything. You won't cause it any harm. If you've not got any rhubarb at all at the moment, this is a good time to plant it as well. So if you've not got any rhubarb in, you could be planting some. So that's something you could be doing. Something else we've been doing, we've been pruning a lot of our trees and bushes. So all the prunings go on our compost heap over here. And as you can see, we've done quite a lot of pruning the last week or so. You know, February is when it all really starts to get going. So we've at the moment just chucked it all on top of the main compost that we're working on. But in a few weeks or a month's time or so, some of that will have broken down. But because it's so twiggy, it won't compost down like grass and weeds do. So what we'll do is we'll obviously we'll take any compost that we can use out of the end one and we'll put it on the garden. We'll move that composter into that one, and then that one will go into that one, with the exception of the twiggy branches. The twiggy branches, we will pull them off, we'll cut them down a little bit more and we'll put them back again. The reason being, it takes a lot longer for these to break down, so you wouldn't want to move that onto the next one just yet. But you've got all the different microbes and fungus and everything that starts the compost going, so it's really good to still put it on there now, even though you've not cut it all up and you're not ready to move it yet. So that's a job that we'll be doing in a few weeks' time. As we move down, it's a really good time to prune your fruit trees if you've not done it already. So, you know, February's the time where if you've not done it, you really need to be getting these jobs done. So we've pruned the pear tree, and what we've done is we've taken off any diseased branches, anything that's crossing over, and we've genuinely reduced it down because it's quite a stout pear tree. It's not designed to be really big. So as you can see, this one's all done and we've got all the lovely buds there. A lot of people worry about the buds if you get frost. Do you know what? There's no worry about anything that's got buds on it this time of year. It's perfectly normal. The problem only happens when you've got blossom and then you get frost and snow, and then that's an issue. This is all perfectly normal and natural. So I've seen lots of people concerned about the buds and what's going to happen if we get snow. Well, there's no problem. It's perfectly normal this time of year. We've partially cut this tree, but I wanted to show you how I prune my apple tree. This is a Bramley apple tree, and again, it's quite a small stout variety, so we don't want it growing too long and tall. So we again look for any diseased branches, which we've removed already. You also look at ones that are crossing over and that are rubbing. Now this is a really good example here. You can see where this tree has rubbed on that. You know, and that's exactly what you don't want. Now this is too big for my secateurs, so I'll have to saw that off. I will be taking that off right down to the bottom there of the branch, so that whole branch will come out. And what else I'll be doing to prune is I'm looking for outside buds. So I'm looking for outside buds, and then I will trim down to the outside bud. So I've got a little bud there and it's on the outside, so I will be trimming just above it, like so. Get hold of them properly. There we go. And I'll be doing the same on all these other branches as we go round. So, and you can see, like, you've got one crossing over there. So again, another one that would need to go. So like I said, if you've not done this job, it's a really good idea if you start to do that this month. As we move down, we have pruned the raspberries. So what we've done, two types of raspberries, which I think I've spoken to you about before on my videos. You've got summer fruiting and autumn fruiting. Now the summer fruiting, which I've got to say are my favourite raspberries. I much prefer the raspberries that come off the summer ones, but I have the autumn ones as well because it extends the season. You take out all the dead wood, which is what we've done here. All you've got now is the new wood that's coming up, and again you've got the buds on it already. So there we go, and you can be mulching and putting some compost around that as well if you wanted to, which I will do, I just haven't got around to it yet. The other thing I've done, I think I spoke about it before, you take out all the dead wood, and if you've got excessive amounts of new growth, you do reduce that down as well. For some reason I get excessive amounts of new growth on these, and if you don't take it out, then your raspberries won't be very big, you get lots of tiny ones, which I have had before, so I've learnt from experience. So as we move around, I've still got another tree to prune in the fruit cage, which I will get onto. You prune your blackberry very similar to your summer fruiting raspberry in the fact that you take out your old wood, and if you've got excessive amounts of branches you remove some of those too. So as you can see, all I've got now is the nice fresh growth. Sometimes if I've got ones that are really trailing really long, I do train them across the top of the fruit cage, but if they're excessively long I will take the tops off of them because it's just purely a management thing. As we look at my gooseberries, I will be pruning those, but I haven't got that far yet. I've put some compost around it, again for the same reason that I do it for the rhubarb. You know, it gives it some nutrients, keeps the weeds down, and it gives it a really good start to the year. But I will need to be removing and pruning my gooseberries as well. I've also put down some cardboard between the fruit area and my vegetable patch. Now I do this, or I've decided to do this year, because we have a little bit of a no man's land between the fruit cage and the vegetables. I can't plant too close up to it because once these start to grow and produce fruit, if you planted it too close it would all just get in the way. So this year I've started putting some paper and some cardboard down, and I will be putting some mulch over this, most likely manure, because we have such a good supply of it. When you put cardboard down or paper bags or whatever you're going to put down, you just want to make sure you remove any plastic, you know, like this here, you know, just needs to come off. Anything that's paper you can just leave on there, but yeah, plastic you obviously want to be getting rid of any of that, and I've only got one bit on there I think, so that's all good. The last thing you want to do is be putting plastic into your soil. So other jobs you can be doing is just generally preparing, you know, starting to dig areas over, which I've done and covered them temporarily before I start obviously planting on them, because like I said before, the weeds will grow incredibly quickly and you won't be able to keep up with it if you don't. So the other thing you need to be doing is harvesting stuff this time of year, because anything you've got on here isn't going to last much longer. So keep up with harvesting your kale, your chard, your leeks. I've got some turnips and some parsnips down there. So really keeping ahead of the harvesting, because once you start to get towards the end of February and March, things like your kale will start to bolt, your leeks might start to bolt, and also you need to start getting the ground ready for the new stuff that's going to come in, apart from anything else. Now I do hope that's been useful. Something else you can be doing is, obviously you can be sowing your seeds, but you'll be sowing those under cover at home, and you'll be sourcing your seeds and your onion sets and your potatoes and that sort of thing. And if you're not sure what you can start sowing in February, there is a video which we will put on this video, so you can watch that as well, so you can make sure you're really giving your allotment the best start this year. So I hope that's been useful for anyone. If you've got any questions or queries, as usual, please do ask and we'll always do our best to answer.